Tuesday morning, gang, and it's a topic morning Tuesday. Not that I didn't have a topic yesterday, but I'm kind of late to the game because this really happened Sunday night. There was a lot of talk Monday. I didn't hear about it until I got to work, except for one piece on YouTube late Sunday night. But I want to talk about it today because it kind of goes into the theme of the soap we're using today, which is influence. Let's talk about the power of influence and where it stands. Now, I want you to put your critical thinking caps on because I'm going to get very specific in what I'm talking about. So first of all, let's put the ground rules out there. First thing is, this is not about censoring the right to free speech, okay? Second of all, this is not about being pro-Trump or anything like that, okay? Because what I'm going to explain these couple people are guilty of is a lot of what Trump has been guilty of as well, especially in his Twitter feed. Okay. Now, the Golden Globes, which I do not watch award shows anymore unless Ricky Gervais is hosting, because Ricky Gervais slays everybody, no matter where you are in the spectrum. Now, he will, in interviews and stuff, talk about certain things, and of course he's a British performer, and they tend to be liberal like our American performers are, which is fine. I mean, everyone has a right to be where they're at. But, two things. Hugh Laurie, who I love. I loved House, Blackadder, going back. He was in the comedy troupe with Stephen Fry and Emma Thompson, and I forget who else, but those three in particular. And this is not about their work. But him and Meryl Streep, of course, one of you, I've loosened and bloomed this soap. Since Soap Commander is a hard puck, and I want to release some fragrance. Okay, we're going to go with the General with the Feather Pro Guard. Going back to the Assassin, Game Changer Knot. There's Influence, Aftershave Balm, Cavendish, and then our Tiege Hanley, of course. Okay, now to the point. I saw on YouTube Hugh Laurie's acceptance speech for The Night Manager, which was a mini-series, which is on Amazon Prime. It was on BBC America as well, I believe. Check it out. Excellent. Him and Tom Hiddleston are fantastic in it. But he comes up and says, "Oh, I'm glad to accept this award. Is maybe the last Golden Globe because of what may not exist in the near future as Hollywood foreign and press." Okay? Fine. I know where that's from. Let's get to Meryl Streep in particular, because she got this Lifetime Acceptance Award, and she's a great actress. But just because she was in Sophie's Choice doesn't mean she understands what a police state really is. Okay, so she gets up there, first of all talks about how Trump mocked this handicap reporter for, I forget what news organization, but I've seen the clip. And that's been, of course, refuted by the ones who support Trump, saying this is just him mocking panicky behavior. And you can take that however you want. That's not part of this discussion in general. But more importantly, she said, there's a lot of us foreigners and outsiders, and if you kick all of us out, the only things left on TV will be football and mixed martial arts, and mixed martial arts is not the arts. Okay, so Meryl, we're going to dive deeper into your statement. And again, I'm not endorsing any of Trump stuff. I just want you to think critically, because there are a lot of people that are shallow thinkers. So what Meryl has basically done, what Hugh Laurie did, what George Takei has done in his tweets, although he was in the Japanese internment camps, so I can understand where he would have a bit of an issue with being worried. So I'm not really going to go on him. Now, he's on a tangent. He's the guy that doesn't have to have an opinion on everything like the rest of us. So we just say, well, Ken, you got an opinion on something? Well, yeah. But you know what? I'm trying to get you to think, not just react. So, what Meryl Streep and Hugh Laurie did, and I don't know, I didn't watch, I just saw, because I heard it on the news yesterday morning, I saw Hugh Laurie say on YouTube because I like Hugh Laurie and I wanted to hear his acceptance speech. Should have known better. There is a mindset out there, especially the anti-Trump voter, that thinks there are going to be mass deportations and there may be internment camps. There's going to be censorship of the press. What else? Oh, and Hollywood's going to be altered so it's not allowed to show what it does currently. Well, that's a load of crap. Let's boil it down to its essence. All Meryl Streep has done is play the same card Donald Trump did and gone into fear-mongering and preying on your ignorance by using her ignorance. In ignorance, the definition is having a lack of knowledge and not understanding something. It's not stupidity where you're unable to learn. Those are two different things. But anybody, whether on the left or the right of the aisle, whether they voted for Trump or Clinton, if you have as a friend of mine in England says, a midget's what's-it of common sense, all the stuff you are fearing is not going to happen. And I want you to think about that. Do you really think the American public whether they voted for Trump or not, is going to allow a police state, is going to allow internment camps? We defeated evil in World War II to make sure stuff like that does not happen again. But there has been a decline in common sense and understanding history to where people live too much in a closed-off, delusional, let's say operational and tactical level way of thinking and not long-term strategic thinking. And it won't happen again in America. We have enough bad history. We had slavery. I mean, heck, you go up through Jim Crow. We had all that. Things still aren't great, clearly. We sadly in the 40s put a race of our citizens, an ethnicity of our citizens, in internment camps, which is friggin' brutal. There were the Tuskegee experiments. Friggin' brutal. Not cool whatsoever. I mean, injecting African Americans with syphilis for experiments and lying to them? Oh, come on. Yes, our country is not perfect. Our country has failed people in many ways in terms of human rights and nature in history. And even fairly recent history, so you gotta keep your wits about you. But let's not get hyperbolic and say, oh, we have to fight for this because now so-and-so, in this case specifically Donald Trump, is in office, and you're going to lose our freedom of press and our rights that have been hard-earned, rights. Let's face it, the rights, for gay marriage are not going away. Abortion is not going away. If it does, I'm going to be pissed and stand with you, okay? Because you need to live your life as individual, responsible people and not at the whims of government. But I don't want to see rights taken away, especially when they're innocuous and don't affect me, for example. I mean, I'm not gay, so what do I care about gay marriage? I have, he's a friend, he's in California, and he's been married through California before the Prop 8 came around, went back around and all that, so he's been married for years in California. So, it doesn't affect us. Live your life morally as individuals. It's kind of like a let God sort them out statement. So we're not killing, we're living our lives the way we see fit. And then let God sort us out. If you believe it. So not all of y'all do. So take that Don't say, oh, now you're talking God. No, I'm just saying whatever you believe. If you don't believe in God, then hey, cool, whatever, it's your choice. Individuals, again, individuals. So, my point is, while liberals are very touchy-feely and their heart's in the right place and they speak well in terms of, you know, what humanity could be philosophically, for lack of a better word, they're very Pollyanna. They don't give you meat. They don't pay attention. They just think, oh, it has to be this way, and they don't look at how you get it done, how the system works, whatever. They just want it done, come hell or high water, and that's just not right. And on the opposite end, there are certain ones that conservatives do. But I was disappointed in some of my friends, because they were missing my point when I put up something about this. It's about critical thinking and not giving in to the power of fear. And that's what Meryl Streep and Donald Trump have done. They fear-mongered and I won't tolerate it. This is a straightforward shoot about how I choose to live my life, and I hope you would do as well. I don't care whether you agree with her or not, or agree with him or not. That's not the point. The point is, why are you doing things? Why are you saying? What is the motivation? Are you motivated by fear that's being, sent by someone else, and you have a very external locus of control, meaning you're allowing the outside world to dictate how you respond to it? Or are you going to take control of your life, do your research, use your brain, and get some common sense, and understand that the old was it poem or whatever about first they came for so and so, and then I said nothing, and then they came for so and so, and then they came for me and no one was there. Okay, well, guess what? That's not going to happen. It's 2017 now. Don't let the influence of people who don't live in a reality dictate your behavior and make you become a sheep in how you think, okay? You're an individual with free will. Think about what people say. Take it in, absorb it, process it with your critical thinking, and then come back, whether you agree or not, and make your stand on whatever you believe. But please don't subscribe to any fear-mongering messages by whatever side of the aisle in which you believe, stand, where. Now, I know some of you didn't hear all of what I said when you watch this, because I know you didn't follow the instructions about critical thinking. I'm not condoning one and condemning the other. I'm basically condemning both, which means I'm telling them both they're stupid. Okay. For the same behavior. Just because you agree with someone doesn't mean that the method in which they do something is acceptable. I like to stay in the middle. I like to consider myself gray, and if you're a Babylon 5 fan, the reference is the Membari on the Grey Council. I am gray, I stand between the darkness and the light. I am the gray. And I'm proud of it. Now, some of you know from my Facebook feed that I've mocked Hillary incessantly. Well, because she's a bad person. I'm not saying Trump is any better. But she's a horrific person too. And not a worthy candidate, never was. But one side will say, oh, Trump's unqualified. Well, Hillary wasn't qualified either in my eyes. But that's a perception. The only thing that says qualification is in the Constitution, basically age and citizenship. And how that citizenship came about. So let's not get into that bullshit again, which I've done before. I just want people to stop being such panicky nimrods and think for yourselves. And use some common sense, because when none of us are using common sense, there's going to be nobody to keep things balanced and it's going to create a power vacuum, and we're going to have all the idiots running the camp, all yelling at each other. It's going to the point where we're going to devolve into monkeys throwing feces, and let's not get there, folks. It's bad enough already. So I'm going to pause, rinse, be right back. Alright, we're back. I just did the alum block, and not bad. It's not talking to me much at all, which is good. So pretty good shave. It was comfortable. I liked it. I'm happy. Okay, so I know I may see some comments, and I will know if you listened and used your critical thinking by your responses. Because I've had one commenter before, and he didn't listen. Because I said something about Trump needs to lay off the Twitter and get to work. He has a lot of work to do. And he went off, Trump doesn't need to... No, that was my point, dude. My point was, he's got a lot of work to do. I'm glad he's in office. Let's get to work and try to get this thing going. Not him needs, him needing to go off on people on his social media. He has more important things to do. I wasn't against him as a matter of parties, and a certain guy said, he did. I mean, he clearly didn't get it by his message. So Cavendish. So what I'm asking you all is, when you see anybody that is in a position through having a bully pulpit, like being a celebrity or being being a billionaire or whatever, they have that kind of access and availability and influence, because you allow them in your heads, folks. Don't allow them in your heads. Take the time as a free-thinking individual to go, are they right? What are they, why, how deep did they think before they opened their mouths? Because if they're reacting on a surface level to something that was also on a surface level, then they're no good to you. They're no good to any of us, because they're not thinking critically. So today, I want you to put on your critical thinking caps when you hear people say and do stuff, and maybe, just maybe, you all will have a calmer day, because you'll realize the reason they did something isn't just because, they just want to piss you off. No. They did it because you don't know what's in their head. But also know when people say things, take a moment to think about why they're saying it. If you want to get into a discussion with them, ask them questions. Ask them polite, thought-provoking questions that may elicit a response that will help you understand why they said it. And if to you it's not deep enough, they're just staying shallow, just say, fair point, walk off, don't waste your time anymore. So with that, I'm done wasting my time and your time talking about celebrity opinions and why they're shallow, whether left or right side of the aisle. Have a great day. Hope you get a good shave. Be safe. I will see you probably Thursday. I'm going to give my face a break tomorrow. So have a good one, folks. I'll talk to you later. Bye.